is that time you've all been waiting for when we reveal Rising's official list of the week's winners and losers. Saagar, who's your loser?
Okay, this week, very sad to say loser. I feel like this is the same theme.
It's like every week.
Economic populism. Why? What's going on? I covered it in my radar at the beginning. Yeah, right after the RBG pick. Look, we're locked in a cultural fight. It's all culture war all the time. Nobody's talking about the economic issues. You look at Congress, basically the stimulus negotiations are dead. Maybe they'll come back. Democrats came out with something, but realistically, the Republicans are all in on filling the seat in order to fulfill their social promises to the evangelical base and much of the pro-life community who have invested so much in them for so long. But there's a lot more to life, too. And I'm not saying that's not important, but they're not acknowledging the real pain that's out there in the country. They're not running on that pain. They're basically saying, oh, everything's going to come back. Talk to Ben Carson. He's like, oh, the real issue with, what will really solve, the eviction crisis is that we'll make sure that the fear of the virus is gone so people can start making money again. It's ludicrous. It's just not how it's going to work. And you can see both parties locked in, more powerful than ever, really. I mean, the Republicans are about to get the 6-3 thing on the Supreme Court. Yeah. Democrats raised $200 million in the last week. So everybody's making money. Everybody's getting what they want. But so many millions more not getting anything.
And the overwhelming coverage of Amy Coney Barrett, who's the likely Supreme Court nominee, is like 98% about abortion.
Yes,
as if
maybe 99.
As if that's the only thing that the Supreme Court has to do with. My loser is related, Unemployed Americans, because the minute that RBG passed away and we ended up with the Supreme Court fight on our hands, whatever lingering hopes of some potential stimulus part 2 have diminished even further to a vanishingly small possibility, because this is what the fight is going to be for the next week. So to the extent that there were any negotiations going on, that there was any hope of helping these individuals, like that is all but finished and gone. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. And this at a time when we covered yesterday, the number of newly unemployed people filing for unemployment benefits is now ticking back up. Right? It's been going slowly down.
900.
Not very, right. And so now we're still at 860,000, I think, new unemployed claims filed in the last week alone. That is more than any single week during the Great Recession. So at the depths of the Great Recession, not as bad as what happened last week. And no one ultimately really seems to care.
Yeah, that's right.
Saagar, who's your winner?
Well, my winner this week is Joe Biden. We'll throw that up there. I think he has handled the Supreme Court fight very, very well. And I think that by going all in on the Supreme Court fight, not talking about abortion, I haven't heard it from him once. Many of the surrogates, I also haven't. It's all been the Affordable Care Act all the time. They're like, hey, we've got 7 million Americans who've had coronavirus. They've got pre-existing conditions. The Trump administration wants to defeat the Affordable Care Act at the Supreme Court. We're going to save the Affordable Care Act. Brilliant, truly strategically brilliant, because abortion is a 50-50 issue. Pre-existing conditions is like a 90-10 issue. So by going all in on that, he's actually harnessing one of Trump's, biggest screw-ups, in my opinion, taking this to the court in the first place and making it so that a great economic issue and healthcare issue for people 30, 40 days before the election. So I think if he sticks to that, look, he doesn't have to say all that much. It's like a script that writes itself. And that's the thing, which is macro political events, like I said, are the only things that can shift this race. So far, this macro political event, I think, is very much in Biden's favor and not really with Trump.
And not to mention, people who vote on abortion, they know what the Supreme Court opening means.
Yeah, right.
And you're not going to, change their minds or win anybody over. So you really don't have to say anything about it.
Yeah.
What you can do is what he's doing, educating people about the fact that the ACA is at stake here and what that means potentially for them in their lives. So, yeah, very savvy maneuver. And the fact that Trump felt he had to come out with this stupid executive order we're going to protect you in pre-existing conditions, we're not going to actually legislate that or tell you how, shows you that even he realizes this is actually a problem for him.
Yes.
My winner this week is Mitch McConnell. This guy wins a lot, I gotta say. Look, his lifelong mission, stack the court. And it's about to come to fruition. There was a moment after RBG died where it was like, Are they going to be able to pull it off? Are you going to have some dissenters because of what they did with Merrick Garland? All the Republicans are on the record being like, you shouldn't do this in election year. They don't care. He got them all in line. He's got the votes. Lindsey Graham went out and said they had the votes to confirm the nominee, even though we don't have a nominee yet. So Mitch McConnell's lifelong project is about to completely come to fruition here.
Yeah, no, and I mean, look, it's not nefarious. He's pretty open about it. He's like, yeah, this is what I want.
Yes,
this is my sole driving course. And so, yeah, I mean, he's doing exactly what he said he would do. A lot of GOP voters out there elected and continue to elect Republicans to the Senate explicitly because of this promise. Mm-hmm. But again, I would just posit that is, at the end of the day, it is a dead end, which is the courts cannot save you. The courts are not pushing things to them and not actually to the legislators means that we don't talk a whole lot about McConnell's legislative record. And I would like to talk about why many of the things that Trump ran on were not ultimately able to materialize in the Republican caucus of the United States Senate. You got Ron Johnson out there yesterday, the senator from Wisconsin, saying that outsourcing on balance is a good thing for Americans. You can't believe it. From Wisconsin.
Amazing.
This guy should have his ass handed to him by Trump, and McConnell should slap him across the face and say, no, we're the Trump party now. But you know what? That's not what they're actually doing. So if all you care about this is judges, if all you care about is just doing this, you're not actually going to pass anything. And this is what happens.
That's where we are. All right, next week on Rising, friend of the show and research director of the American Economic Liberties Project, Matt Stoller, is going to discuss the parts of the SCOTUS nomination that nobody else talks about, what it means for antitrust and corporate power. We're also going to have Professor Richard Wolff on to tell us about his new book, The Sickness is in the System.
And remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great weekend, guys.